Is it to have someone do your payroll, bookkeeping, and taking care of your taxes who knows what they're doing? Less sleepless nights, less daily stress? Hoeing & Lewis at 29 North Liberty Street have been serving Cumberland and the surrounding area for almost 35 years. They have over 80 years experience in bookkeeping, accounting, and payroll services, estate planning, and all types of tax preparation. They know what they're doing. See the professional CPAs, Hoeing & Lewis, for a free initial consultation. Remember, having Hoeing & Lewis take care of your financial concerns could mean more restful nights and less daily stress.
The Allegan Shrine invites you to be their guest this Sunday, September 20th for Designer Handbag Bingo. Michael Kors, Coach Louis Vuitton, Vera Bradley, and many more. Doors open at noon, games at 2 this Sunday. Designer Handbag Bingo at the Allegan Shrine Center, 301-722-5970.
Status, evaluation of performance, a total look under the hood of high school sports, the ultimate pregame. Let's get back to it here on WCBC.
Welcome back, and we're at the Tom O'Rourke Sports Studio. Tim Kaine alongside, and this is Roxioni, and I'm sorry to get some kind of weird feedback. Is Brett Brian Gallons' fault? What are you're throwing me a signal there, but I don't get it. Coach John Beiser is going to join us here on this Ultimate Pregame show, this segment of the show. And Tim Kaine is going to rejoin us here in a second. We're hoping Sean Beiser's coming in here with 4 or 5 of his kids. He's preparing his team, of course, tomorrow night to take on the Northern Huskies. And I would assume that if I'm Sean Beiser, try as hard as I could, I'd still be riding high after that win last week. No matter, he won't say that, I'm sure, because you guys always say, well, you got to look for the next game and all that. But I would still be riding pretty high after defeating Fort Hill and breaking that 29-game win streak. And Tim, we should mention the win streak that they broke was the Kaiser High School Golden Tornado win streak. They owned that in 1955, 1956 under Tack Clark. I think it was 26. And, of course, Todd Apple's team broke that last year. And then with the win in their opener against Clearfield, they moved it to 29.
That's a little bit before my time, so I can't comment too much on that. But either streak, that is accomplishment for the team.
Yeah.
For the Kaiser under Tack Clark and Coach Apple, What I really like, with Coach Beiser, one of his quotes in the paper said, "This win says a lot about the character of our kids and our team. We could have folded up the tents and went home early after the second quarter." They were behind last year in the opener against Clearfield and came back in the second half. So it's different kids a little bit. I got to think that the head coach is, saying something at halftime, getting the kids together, making a speech to them, and getting them fired up. There's something got to be that Kaiser was 43, Clearfield was 30, and I think they were down 30-14.
Came back from, I think, 17-0 and 30-14. Right, yeah. So and that's leadership.
That's leadership.
Among kids, too.
Yeah, you have some of the same kids, but now it's that coaching staff, the Coach Beiser and his coaching staff. They got to be down there saying, we can do this, come on, guys, and just pumping them up, making them believe in themselves. And, wow, you came back against 2 of the best teams that play in this area.
Well, let me ask you this. Trying not to look ahead. Is Allegheny going to have a problem with that tomorrow night against Mountain Ridge since they go to Kaiser next week? And they owe Kaiser a beating.
They do. I don't think Allegheny will have too much problem with Mountain Ridge. I think they're just too big up front and too many weapons. Wow, I'd love to see the Allegheny-Kaiser game up there. I think that's going to be a good one because Allegheny's line's big, Kaiser's line's big, and the backs are about the same. I think I would give the edge maybe to Allegheny with Carson Imes just because he's been there a couple of years in a row. The one thing I was concerned with Kaiser is they had those 2 games early in the season. With Petersburg, they won 61-13, and Berkeley Springs 57-7. Are they in shape? Can they play a full game?
Yeah.
They answered that question.
Yeah. Well, as a head coach, I was just curious. Allegheny's got Mountain Ridge. I agree with you. They should handle Mountain Ridge. Would you rather play someone you think you're going to handle the week before you play a Kaiser? Or would you rather it be a team that you're really going to have to play 4 quarters of hard football to to beat a team this week before you play Kaiser?
I don't think it matters because you're going into practice to get better. So every day you're wanting to get better. You're not going in saying, okay, we're only playing this team, so blah, blah, blah. No, we're going in to get better. We're going to run the power plays. We're going to run the crisscrosses and whatever, and we're going to perfect them. So whether we're playing Mount Ridge, Kaiser, or Fort Hill, we want to be working to run perfect plays. And
Did you ever, as a coach, did you ever find any secrets that you didn't want to share, but you can share now, to keep kids focused and not look ahead? 16 and 17-year-olds, if I remember correctly, I could get distracted pretty easily.
I don't think you can. I mean, because you only have them for 2.5 hours. Then they go home to mom and dad and the general public.
You tell them how good they are?
Tell them how good they are, and you don't have to worry about this game because you're going to lose this game. No, I mean, you just try to keep them focused on the practice, getting better. And I think that way, with them getting better and focusing on that, it takes away that we're playing Kaiser or Mount Ridge or Northern or whoever you're playing.
Would you hope to have the leadership among your seniors to help you with that kind of thing? In school and away from school, they hang out with each other.
Absolutely, and I think some of your better teams, I always loved We Are Family, the Pirates side down with Billy Swords and all them. That always stuck with me because I just think if you groups together and they group and they do things together, then they're going to do a little extra out on that field when they go out and play football.
I think, in my view, and if everyone else, I have my own opinion about this, but I think that's one of the keys to Fort Hill's success on the top. I've talked to some of the kids just kind of informally, and when they talk about that kind of thing, they are as sincere and genuine as they can be, and they just feel they're part of something that's really special with Coach Apple and his staff.
He makes you feel that way, and it is something special right now. He's doing a great job up there. His staff is doing a great job, and the kids, we say as coaches, they buy in.
Right.
It's not like they're selling something. I guess it's better to say they believe in it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what the Kaiser Tornadoes players are doing right now, Coach Kaiser and his staff. They believe in what he's doing and the way they're doing it.
Well, we're not going to kid you. Coach Pfizer was due here about 5 minutes ago, so we're hoping. I remember last year we ran into incredible traffic. Remember?
Yeah.
Coming down through when he got to like the traffic thing. I don't know what was going on, but we ran into all kinds of traffic. I remember he was panicking and telling us about how he got down the tractor trail or something. Could find no time to pass. Watching his watch and he's knowing, my heavens, I'm going to be late. So we are waiting on him.
Here they come.
And here they come, yeah, as we speak. Thank you, Fred Benson, for pointing that out. I was going to go to a break, but we're going to save that. So no break. Here they come. They are big. And Gage is bigger than Coach Pfizer, and if you know Coach Pfizer, if you see him on the sideline, he's a big guy. He brought 5 of them with him. You're Gage? Pronounce your last name, Gage.
Cannon.
It's Cannon. It's not spelled like Cannon, though. Okay. Have a seat, please, Gage. And maybe I'll tell you what, Gage, since you're in here and you look comfortable, you can tell me who's going through the door. Who's your team?
We have Zach Kearns, number 3. We have Eric Willis, number 43. We have Amonte Turner, number 2. And Cody Rodehavert, number 31.
And the last guy coming through the door is he's pretty hard on you sometimes to get the best out of you.
That is true. It's our head coach, John Beiser.
Gage, I think you have a career ahead of you in this kind of thing. Thanks for doing that chore for me. Guys, come on in, make yourself comfortable. The big guy got to introduce you guys, and Coach Beiser's allowed to come in too. First of all, congratulations. What a win for you guys last week. You broke that big streak. Amonte, maybe start with you. Did you guys talk about the fact that Fort Hill had a 29-game winning streak, or didn't it bother you a bit?
Yeah, we knew they had a streak, and we wanted to beat it, and we went in there hungry. First half didn't go how we liked, but second half we talked about it, and we came out second half hungry, and we got what we wanted. We beat that streak.
I think everybody's curious as what went on in your locker room that you're able to share here tonight. Let me see. Amonte, Gage, Cody, right? Tim, go ahead.
I got to ask Amonte about his pitching here, because he looks like a little boy running behind Gage. Look how big he is.
Yeah, I just saw the hole, and I was following behind my big man, and he got me a touchdown.
Nice, isn't it nice run against behind his and Bishop? Bishop is your size too. About that size, Gage?
Yeah, Bishop's about my size as well. He holds the squat record at our school, and I hold the bench press record.
What's your bench? We were talking about before Sean got here. I got to ask Coach Pfizer. Coach, I don't see guys this big walking around every day. Where do you find this stuff?
They just come off the street, and we just get them in the weight room, and it's their credit. They're the ones who go in and do all the work. We just, we're there for them, and we push the weight room on them, and they respond and work hard, and that's what you get.
So where did you find Darren Bishop? He didn't play last year. Did you go out and recruit
He
him?
played, but he played as a freshman, did play as a sophomore, and then came back out last year, and then just really took off all out. And him and Gage were workout partners, and then Cole Weaver's another kid, a big kid. He's about 6'4", 265, and those three worked out together. That was in their workout group because they all have groups in their weight room. They have to work out for certain people, and those three were working together. So and then Smoot and Edgar, they're not little either. I mean, they're not quite as tall, but they're pretty thick kids.
You're trying to occupy him with all that time.
Yeah, sure.
Well, Sean, congratulations on that win. We don't want to, devalue that at all. And joking with you, but we neither Tim or I got to see it, but we're sure sorry we didn't. I want to see you play a game.
It was a great game. I think it was a great game for area football. 8,000 to 10,000 people there, and I know that people didn't get receipts till what I was told was after halfway through the first quarter, they still weren't getting receipts yet. And just a tremendous atmosphere. Two good programs going at it, and obviously, Fort Hill's been the top dog, and they have a great program, a great coaching staff, and their kids are definitely working the weight room. And so for us to go in there and play and be successful, it was huge for our kids and for our program.
No letdown this week against Northern?
I've been doing my best to make sure they're ready to play. They worked hard, and we have a saying, we worry about this play, and we worry about this game. Last week is done and gone, and a lot of people were talking to us about how many times Kaiser had won. I said, you know what? All those other games didn't mean anything. Those teams had no effect on what was happening on that field on Friday night. And so, the kids just bought into it, and I think that's our motto every week. That's what we worry about. We worry about this week and this play, and that's how we take it.
Brock,
Tim, go ahead.
Mentioned before, you said that Fort Hill's got one of the best programs, and you beat them. Guess what? You're one of the best programs. Whether it's West Virginia, Maryland, 2A, you got things going in Kaiser right now, and you can look at these guys and see their football. I cannot believe how big Cody Rodehaver is.
Yeah, and that's a testament to the kids, because you can coach them as hard as you want. Unless they want to buy into it, it doesn't matter. And it's also a testament to the assistant coaches. I've got a great coaching staff.
Yeah, let me ask you about that. Tim and I also talked about that when we were talking about the difference between having a program and having a team. And I think we said to you last year, we both agree you have a program up here. But looking at the information on your coaches here, you have some guys that have been with you a while. So they've bought to what you're trying to do, and that's got to be huge for us.
Right, absolutely. We have very little turnover on our coaching staff, and there's a few new coaches this year, but a lot of the guys, like our defensive coordinator, he played for me. I've been since a little kid. Coach Staggers was offensive, he was a line coach. He played for me. I've known him since he was a little kid. My brother coaches. Coach Shoemaker's been with us forever. Coach Miller, Coach Royball, Coach Duff Signor has been with us. He played for me. Coach Steckman is actually from Cumberland. He's a real guy, but he coaches up there with us now. He coaches our young guys. And then we brought Denver Riggman on staff this year from Petersburg, came down as coaching with us. So we've been lucky.
Let's talk to Zach Kearns. Yeah, because
I know what you want to ask him.
Yeah,
Right?
there's only one job. You're on the kickoff team, and if there's an onside kick, you're supposed to jump on the ball, and he even said in the paper that's what he was supposed to do. Guess what? He didn't do it.
Well,
good job.
everybody
Good
wants.
job. I love that heads-up type of play. I really do. I'm kidding him about it. But that's the difference in a good team and a real good team. When you got a player that has the smarts to say, hey, there's a hole. Why would I drop down when I can run how many yards, Zach?
50.
I knew he knew it.
Did you count them as you were going?
No, he's just focused not getting in there.
Well, yours is considered to be the back-breaking play by some people, and a couple people, when they heard you were coming in tonight, said, ask him, did he somehow sense there was going to be an onside kick? Okay, what's your answer to that, Zach?
Well, I got to give a shout-out to Aaron Miller, who noticed.
Who's Aaron Miller?
Our kicker. He noticed that they had switched the kicking tees for the onside, like they used a different tee. And he told our coaching staff, who then relayed the message to us. So we knew we were prepared for it.
So an assist to Aaron Miller? They noticed a little different thing just in the tee. So, wow, it takes everybody and everything.
Well, it does.
Thinking, doesn't it?
That's great. And then we got Eric Willis. He blocked the 50-yard. Eric's over here.
This is
He's
Eric.
the fullback.
Sorry, Eric.
You can tell, just look at the guy, fullback, linebacker.
Yeah, he looks like that.
He does. And he's not very pretty, but he looks like a fool.
And you blocked the field goal. Right before the half, right, Eric?
Yeah, just time expired in the first half.
Have you guys seen something in film or anything that told you you might have an opportunity to do that?
No, we just knew the kicker had a good leg and he liked to kick. Me and the linebackers seen an opportunity to go get it and hype us up for the second half, so we just took it and went with it.
Did you come up from the middle or on the sides?
On the outside.
On the outside, come up. Did you dive?
Yeah.
Dive out for it and hands together and all that good stuff?
Yeah, but him a bicep. Got a nice little bruise.
Well, it was worth it, though,
Yeah.
right?
Zach, what did you feel going in the locker room then your team was uplifted a little bit more, even though you were down by a good bit after that play?
Yeah, we started getting hyped up in the locker room to bring us back out in the second half to put on an eventual comeback to win the game.
Hey, can we kind of ask the same to Monte? Well, Monte alluded to halftime and what it was like in the locker room. What you want to say, Tim?
9 carries, 92 yards against Fort Hill. Not many running backs have done that. And I know we got another one that's a little bit better, but that's a great job against a good defense.
Thank you. What did you expect from Fort Hill defensively, Monte? Did you feel like you knew a lot, or because they had lost so many players off last year's team, were they more of an unknown to you?
No, we knew they were going to be good. I watched them on them all weekend. I saw the defense they were running, and we practiced all week, and we knew what to expect.
I have to ask you, how fast is Braden Brown compared to Ty Johnson? Do you mind answering that?
I don't know. I think they're the same, honestly.
How do they compare to you? Maybe a step quicker?
Yeah,
I mean, you're
they've
pretty...
already gotten by a little bit.
Well, who else we have over here? Cody Rodeheaver, that's a familiar name. You've played a lot of football, Cody, at Kaiser. This is your senior now?
Yes, sir.
And you rushed for a lot of yardage last week. You guys threw the football, what, once? Was it, or twice?
I think we threw it once, and actually the quarterback kept it.
What do you think of that young guy? He's just a sophomore, right?
Yeah,
Excuse me, it's Brady Hours, right?
yes, sir. Beginning of the season, everybody was kind of cautious and kind of worried about, what was going to happen. But Brady stepped up, man. He really did an awesome job at filling the shoes of starting quarterback.
The rumor down here is, Tim, he's going to be really, really good. Coach Pfizer, I don't know if you want to talk about a sophomore like that, but that's the rumor down here, Cody, that he's going to be a really good quarterback.
That he is. I think he is a really good quarterback, and he can only grow from here. So I think he's going to be exciting to watch.
174 yards against Fort Hill, 3 touchdowns. You're also playing inside linebacker, and you wrestle.
Yes, sir.
Now, have you challenged anyone on the wrestling match that maybe be a head coach? I mean, he was a wrestler in college. I mean, you got to give it a shot.
I ain't gonna lie. We won a round or two.
Have you?
Coach Pfizer? Tell us about that. We might have a scoop here. How'd you do it?
He might not want to talk about that.
Very good. Yeah, you have to play a few more games for it. Games when we get to one of the big guys. You love these big guys. Did you ever have anybody down?
We had well, when I played, his name was Mark Bell.
I remember him.
He was a big guy. He was
Over 300?
No, Mark probably about 280.
Now, do they fudge your weight age in the program? I was telling Tim when I played 100 years ago, they listed me at 195. And I think I had played 100. I was at 138. Are you really over 300?
I am really over 300.
Any other guys that listed in your roster, are they over 300?
Everybody that is listed above 300 is above 300.
All right. The truth in reporting.
Kind of quick feet. I mean, he must have some decent feet to him. Any colleges calling about him, looking at him? Because I mean, the size
They've
of
got
the
some guys looking at him. I've had some contact with him. So there's schools that are looking at him. But I mean, honestly, for these guys' credit, they're more worried about what they're going to do this week than anything else. And we tell them all the time, college things will take care of itself. You take care of the grades, the test scores, all the stuff like that, and then to do your work in college is another issue. But yeah, he has good feet, big guy. I think there's several of these guys sitting there, all of them have a chance to want to play next over if they choose to.
As a coach, that must make you feel wonderful, because that means they're doing the job in the classroom.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's part of that's why you call student athlete, not just an athlete. And I'm not saying that they all do it like they're supposed to all the time, but we try to get them to do what they're supposed to do. And so that's the main thing. And you can be the greatest athlete in the world, but if you don't have the academics to go along with it, it doesn't do any good when the coaches come in.
And that's how programs keep going.
Yeah.
You have these student athletes that keep going and going. If you just have athletes, you're going to hit some down spots, some problems, something's going to happen. But if they're doing good in school, they're going to keep that program going. all you guys played last year, right? All seniors. You knew the work ethic and what Coach Beiser expected of you, and you carried that on this year for the younger guys.
What do you think that's at?
Yeah, I would agree. We coached well. You know, it's a top-down type of program. So as seniors, when we were freshmen, our seniors good to us, and just every year the seniors keep passing down that knowledge.
Zach Kearns, Gage, let me ask you another question. This is just my opinion. You guys may feel differently. I had a sense that with the team you guys had last year, the way you ended the season last year was a down. You were knocked out of the playoffs too soon. Would that be fair to say? And did that affect your commitment of your guys coming back this year?
It was a big downer for most of the kids, especially the seniors and the ones who really love football. And I would have to say that it probably did not affect any commitment.
So you're saying commitment guys came back, just you were ready, as the junior class was pretty much ready to go this year. Senior year, it's it.
I'd have to say they came back ready, probably more ready than they were the previous season, because they wanted to show everybody that it didn't affect them any.
Okay. Good answer, very good answer.
Got to go to Coach Beiser.
Yeah, let me run over here to Coach Beiser.
Because, you know, they came back, as we talked, with Clearfield last year, and then they come back against Fort Hill, and you guys know Fort Hill's a good program. For you guys to come back against Fort Hill is just great. And what was it like at halftime?
You talking about last Friday night?
Yeah, last Friday night.
You got 28-12 at halftime?
I mean, we just felt like going in as a coaching staff. We were still in the game, and right before half, we thought the block kick was huge, and it kept us in 2 scores. And then, you know, going in, we just said, you know, we can go in here and we can get on these kids all we want, but they're just not believing in themselves right now. And so we went in, and that's what I told them. I said, you got to believe in each other. And I know they talked amongst themselves, and they're a very tight group, very good senior leadership. And, you know, they talked among themselves what they needed to do. And we, as coaches, talked to them. I said, listen, guys, you got to believe in yourselves. You got to believe in each other. The guy beside you is going to do his job, and you got to believe in what we're telling you. You got to trust us. And that was really the whole halftime speech. That was it. There was no huge adjustments made. We knew we had some things that we hadn't run the first half, that we were going to run the second half, and we just knew what we had to take away, and that's what we did.
That's head coach Sean Beiser, right? Folks, if you just joined us from Kaiser High School, defeated Fort Hill last Friday night, 48-41. Go ahead, Tim.
Did he say it that calm Friday night at halftime?
Oh, yeah, well,
There's a little more enthusiasm in the guys.
Come on, Eric Willis. You can
Come on, you're a fullback or linebacker. You love football. Tell us the truth.
He made it sound like he was very sane in there.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really say much. It was more the players talking than him. So we was trying to pull ourselves back together and just believe in each other.
Did you really think you had a chance down 28-12? I mean, it's Fort Hill in Cumberland. Is that true? I mean, did you guys really still feel confident? Like, because you had played with them, some big plays that had kind of kicked you in the rear end, but otherwise you had played with them.
I mean, yeah, they made a whole bunch of big plays, but I knew we could come back. We're a second half team. All the hill sprints and all that stuff that we do just helps us out for that second half.
And Zach Kearns, Fort Hill defensively, Fort Hill didn't look like they could stop you guys in the second half. Is that we didn't get to see the game. We were really interested in it, but the way we talked, he said that that's probably why they tried the onside kick.
Yeah, I feel like defensively we could just run all over them. You know, we've got Rhodey, we've got Amante, we've got Diamante. Brady can keep it, and we had good blocking up front, and we just moved the ball on. It wasn't big games, but it was, 5-6 yard runs and those that up.
Wait, Gage, you like coming down to Cumberland play in the stadium? I mean, we like to think it's kind of a special place to play in high school football, although Tornado Alley is a beautiful place now, too. But do you like coming down showing the Cumberland folks you can play football up there?
I'd have to say I enjoy coming down here because it is a special place because everybody knows that it's going to be packed with a big game and everything. Although honestly, I'd say I'd rather be at home because everybody loves to be at home.
You get Allegheny in 2 weeks up there. We're going to be up there to follow that. Wasn't I supposed to mention that, Coach? Maybe I should. Gage, you looked funny when I said that. We're not supposed to look ahead.
He didn't know 2 games. He knows Northern this week.
Yeah, your coach is here. You know Allegheny's 2 weeks.
Allegheny's next week, but as Coach mentioned, it's this game.
You know, you've been successful. Last year you came down the stadium, beat Allegheny. You come down this year as a senior and beat Fort Hill. So you guys have been successful in our stadium, you say, against the city team.
You want to ask Cody? Cody's a veteran.
Good question.
He wasn't even paying attention. No, what does it feel like coming down, beating Allegheny last year and Fort Worth this year at the state in our backyard, to say?
Honestly, the best feeling that I have for myself is that knowing that was the last time I ever played Greenway. I'm leaving there with a W, and that's an awesome feeling. That's a special feeling.
It's like when Fort John Allegheny played as a senior, you lose game win. It's a whole different feeling. Well, you want to say anything about Allegheny, Cody? Are you allowed to even talk about them? They're predicted to be up there with you at Fort Hill. You guys at Fort Hill.
Yeah, mostly like everybody else said, we're focused on Northern. That's where the game film's been. That's what we've been studying. That's what we've been practicing for. But I mean, we know Allegheny's there, and they won't be taken lightly either.
Sean, you guys have to be commended. You have a schedule. You got Bridgeport. You got Robert C. Byrd, Fort Hill, Allegheny. How do you keep them focused on Northern? Let's face it, Northern's had great programs for a small school and great, well coached. But let's face it, the numbers, not the size usually.
Right. Well, Coach Carr does a tremendous job, and those kids always come to play.
We call them the feisty Huskies.
They're senior laden this year. The senior offensive line, senior defensive line. They got great skill position kids. So, they know they have their work out for them next week. And honestly, we really don't talk about what's coming up. We talk about this game coming up.
Northern always reminds us when we see him play that the kid in the playground, you have to kill him to beat him in a fight.
Right. They're going to come. They're going to play full course of football, and they're going to keep coming at you.
Coach Carr does do a fabulous job of it.
Absolutely.
Kids love him.
Yeah, they do. They play hard.
Can you imagine this? I mean, you don't get the numbers, but he's so successful and competitive every year.
And that just speaks volumes about him and the program with that kids to come.
Well, Tim, we're down to, according to Fred, about 1 minute. Is that right, Fred? We're enjoying ourselves so much with these guys. We appreciate you coming down to Monte. Eric, I got it right. Zach Kearns, Gage, Cody Rodeheaver, Coach Sean Beiser. Sean, thanks so much for coming in. We always like to have you guys down here and teach for your kids. And good luck tomorrow night against Northern.
We appreciate it. It's an honor to come down here, and we appreciate it.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. 17th shoe on Gage Cannon there. Well, our last thing we see is Gage gets up from his chair. Fred, we have about 40 seconds. I can kill that. Don't forget, this weekend, tomorrow night at the stadium, join me and my team, or our team, I should say. We have Allegheny and Mountain Ridge for you. Tim Kane will be with his team, or that team on the FM, as the Frankfort Falcons take on Berkeley Springs, the Indians. So thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the kids and the coach from Kaiser. We appreciate you tuning in tonight. This is Roxioni from the Tom O'Rourke Sports Studio. Good night, everyone, and tune in again next week.
From the WCBC Sports Team, covering local sports 40 years, this has been the Ultimate Pregame.